Steve Taylor, welcome to the Players Lounge podcast.
Thanks so much.
How are you doing?
Fantastic, yeah, really good. Excited for the new season. Been a long pre-season, but like the boys are now, ready to go.
How are you enjoying life in Wellington?
Yeah, loving life. Obviously, for myself, last season coming out here, a new chapter, a new challenge in my career, and it was something, I wanted something that was going to test us, and this was definitely the opportunity that came around that wet my lips, and there was other opportunities to go into Europe and try something new out there, but when I spoke to the manager and a few players who had been out here, for me it was a no-brainer. It was definitely going to be the biggest test, definitely the biggest challenge, because everyone kept telling me, why are you going to Wellington? I've not seen the past few years the struggle they've had. You had the opportunity to go to a few Australian sides. Why didn't you go there? But for me, this was one when I spoke to the manager and speaking to bringing players in, changing the kind of the culture, mindset, and the way I think Wellington has been kind of knocked down the wooden spoon for a lot of years, and is changing that. I want to be part of that, and my whole career is around that like underdog mentality, and that's what I bring out here, especially last season, that dog mentality on the pitch, the fight, and the leadership I've had all my career. Left school at 16, and that's when you become a man. As soon as you leave school, you step into a first team background, and you're in around the kind of players like the Alan Shearers of the world, Shea Given, Jonathan Woodgate, Gary Speed, big senior heads. I want to be surround myself around that, watching on a day-to-day basis how they go around doing the job, what do they do after training, off the pitch. And I kind of spent a lot of my younger years as just, what do they do, analysing everything, and didn't want to disappoint them. So when I go and train with them, I want them to think, hey, I can rely on him. Because we came out here last year, and a lot of people keep saying, oh, he's a young lad, this guy's a young guy. These guys are 23 years old. For me, that's not young. You've got to be making the game at 18 years old. You're a man, especially in the A-League. It's a man's game here. And you look at the teams over the past few years who have been successful out here. They're full of men. They've got like experience in there. And the managers come now who believes in that kind of mentality of keeping a squad together for a lot of years instead of the A-League. I think last year over 60% of players were out of contract. And I had to understand that, seeing how many players just get moved around. And I was saying to the boys last year, when you're in the tunnel, you're seeing the players, listen, they might be your friends, but you're focusing on the game. None of this kind of handshakes and cuddling each other, none of that. We're here for one reason only, and that's to win the game. So that's one of the reasons, for me.
So take us back where it all started for you. You were born in London,
yep,
and then you got taken up to Newcastle weeks later.
Yes, obviously we had the house in Newcastle. Dad worked in the police in London, so Mum went down there with my dad, and then she had me a little bit earlier. And obviously I got from the hospital straight back up to Newcastle where our house was, and ever since then really. Dad's big on his football, loved it.
Yeah.
Took me to every home game in Newcastle. He ended up buying a bond. I think it was worth £500 just to get your name on the seat. And I didn't have the money back then. I didn't kind of appreciate the stuff that he went out and did. I used to say, I want that kind of boots. He went and got me it. He did everything in his power to do that. 9 years old, going into 43 players from Newcastle School of Excellence back then. And he would leave work early, get me from home, take me to training, never missed one training session. And I see obviously the top players, young kids at the time, just weren't turning up because the parents couldn't leave work and stuff like that, and they fell by the wayside. And I was very fortunate to have the support I did from my mum and dad, and especially my dad, who literally watched every game. Even when I made it from Newcastle, we'd travel to Europe after UEFA Cup games, and he never missed a game. And he's, even to this day now, he gets up early hours of the morning to watch the games, and he's always like finding something to watch the games on, and that's how we're building. We live, eat, breathe, sleep football. It's just it's an identity. So for me, it was back from a young age in Newcastle. Big support of Newcastle United. Ball boy from 9 years old all the way till about 15. I thought it'd be the closest I'll ever get to the pitch, because back then there wasn't many young lads getting the opportunities. You know, they might play the odd cup game, but they eventually just get released and were sent down the lower leagues, and that's what happens to a lot of the young lads. But I had a bit of chip on my shoulder. I remember when I was left school at 16, I believed I should be in the first team. So I would knock on Bob Robson's door. I was fuming a few times when I see a couple of centre backs at the time lost a few games, and I thought I deserved to be playing. We went and knocked on Bob Robson's door about to show my frustration, and he knew I was frustrated, and he managed to kind of talk about something completely different. I walked in the room, he said, "How's your dad doing? How's your mum doing?" Got off the subject. Anyway, I came out of the change room, he's got his arm around us, I didn't even get a word out. And it's the man management skills of that. And to that day I gained more respect for him. I was like, wow, this guy's something special. And he said, listen, when obviously you're old enough, you're good enough out there, you just keep doing what you're doing. I'll be watching every game, reserve game, you come watch, and it was kind of like I want to impress him because I believed I should be playing. 17 years old, I got given one of the biggest awards in Newcastle. It's called the Ward Jackie Award. Jackie Milburn, legend in Newcastle. I thought everyone's going to wear a black tuxedo that night. I'm going to wear a white. So I turned up in a white tuxedo. The first team staff and players didn't even know us at the time. Got in the room and got my award, and everyone's in black, and I turned up white. And I remember a physio at the time, Derek Wright, goes, "Who the hell does this kid think he is?" But I had to set a statement. And when I left school, I just trained every day, and I was always against the likes of Shearer because he tried to toughen me up, the manager at the time. I left school, never did any weights or anything like that, and it helped us because I tell you what, for that first 2 years, I got battered every day, literally. Against the likes of Shearer and Bellamy, I was getting kicked, smashed, cut eyes, and it toughens you up. You know, you go home and you think, I'm not let that happen again. I'm not going to let that happen again. And that's just the way I was. And it was funny. It was just like I had a nosebleed, a cut eye in one of the training sessions, and one of the lads goes, "You all right?" I'm like, "What the hell? Are you all right? I don't need any looking after." You know, that was just the mentality I had as a young kid, and it all came and all started Real Mallorca, UEFA Cup, Samuel Eto'o. Got my chance, and we won that night, UEFA Cup. The week after, away to Bolton, because the centre halves were still injured. I think we had 5, 6, 7 injuries, so they had no choice but to play me. And got beat 1-0. The balls come down, went headed back, got a nudge in the back. Guys in the Pedersen's on the side, the 18-yard box. And he's hit it over the top of Shea Given. 1-0, we lost. I thought this could be the end of me here. Didn't get a chance until the following season when Graham Souness came in.